from Pawtucket. It's a mad Christmas show. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Stephen Buckner, joined tonight by my lovely co-host, PJ Pat Tierney. And we are here with our annual Christmas special, which really isn't special. It's still only just half an hour long, but it's Christmas themed.
Yep.
So tonight, instead of our regular topic of current movie releases, and there are plenty of current movies out there to see if you're on Christmas vacation, but we're going to talk about some of our favorite Christmas movies, some that might be considered new classics, some that are movies that we think are classics that are maybe like unappreciated or unseen by most people, or just whatever sort of direction our Christmas movie talk takes us. So we'll see what happens. And so we got into, before we do, because I did say we're not going to talk about current releases, I did go see Zootopia 2, which I enjoyed. Not quite as much as the first one. It's a decent animated movie. I know you didn't like the first one.
I didn't like the first one.
Yeah, so you probably won't like this one. But it's decent, but it's also something that I could have waited to watch on Disney Plus. You know, if I didn't have the subscribe, I don't know if I would have paid.
Higher quality than Return of Jafar, Lion King 2, Cinderella 2.
Oh, by far.
Lady and the Tramp 2.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's not the
101 Dalmatians 2.
The old
Bambi 2.
Straight to video.
Hunchback 2.
No. Yeah. All right. So all the new holiday movies that have come out in the last couple of weeks and are about to come out in the week to come, we'll talk about on our next show, which is the week after Christmas. But we're going to talk about holiday movies. And there are plenty of movies that are like perennial favorites that just about everyone has seen. So there's no need for us to recommend those movies to you. You've seen
and you
them.
can even split them into like the golden age of like the 40s, 50s era, but then
you've got like
through
modern
the 80s and 90s are kind of a silver age of classics, and we're gonna skip just beyond that.
Like you do see like online people will like list like these are the 25 best Christmas movies ever. It's like okay, well pretty much everyone agrees which movies belong on that list. It's just a matter of how you're ranking them, and you're just trying to bait click people into saying, how dare you make this one number one when this one you only have as number 9, and we're not going to get into that, rank them, because there's no point. It's a Wonderful Life should be number 1 on every list. Anyway, what we were talking about just before the show is modern movies that have the potential to become enduring classics. And we initially were going to like say, so movies of the 21st century, but there are some movies that have come out in the 21st century that have already become classics, like Elf.
Yes.
Elf came out, I think, in like 2004 or 6 or something.
2004, 2003?
Yeah, somewhere around that. And Love Actually came out in 2003. So those movies, I think, are already widely regarded as classics. So there's
Bad Santa in 2005.
Yeah. There's no need to include those movies in this conversation. So I'm thinking more movies from the last 10 or maybe as far back as 15 years. What movies do we think have become a go-to movie for you that you want to watch every year, or something that you've seen more recently that you think will become something that you would want to watch every year? And you had a few.
One that's, for me, one of my favorites is Violent Night.
Yes.
Basically, the Santa Claus, Die Hard, and Home Alone.
Exactly. That's exactly. Watching that movie. Or maybe
Bad Santa, Die Hard, and Home Alone.
It's definitely got a dose of Bad Santa in there, too. I felt watching it was like someone heard about the online is Die Hard a Christmas movie debate and say, well, let's make a movie that puts that debate to an end, because it's obviously a Christmas movie. It's about Santa Claus, but it's Die Hard.
Yeah, it's Die Hard. And then there's a kid, situation. And she does Home Alone.
And the little girl does the most violent take on Home Alone that you've ever seen. So yeah, that's a pretty good movie. And I had heard that they were going to do a sequel to that. I don't know where they are with that. You would have think it would have come out by now, maybe next year. But I would watch a sequel.
Yes.
To that movie. David Harbour from Stranger Things, and they've just released the first part of the final season, and the second part's coming up actually on Christmas, which is an odd choice. But yeah, that's a really well done. You would kind of consider it like a B action movie, because I mean David Harbour's the biggest celebrity in it, but Beverly D'Angelo from Christmas Vacation is also in it. She plays the matriarch of the family. So it's a pretty good movie. It manages to be both funny and gruesomely violent. Yeah. Graphically violent, not gruesome, but yeah, so that I thought was an excellent choice. The first one that popped in my head was one that actually got like award recognition the year it came out. I think it came out maybe 2 years ago. The Holdovers.
Yeah.
Starring Paul Giamatti. And anyone who hasn't seen it, the basic premise of it is that these boys at a boarding school get stuck at school over Christmas break because their families are not home. So they have to stay at school. And Paul Giamatti plays their teacher, who is the teacher who gets the short straw and has to stay and watch over these kids over the Christmas break, which works for him because he doesn't have a family of his own, and he basically just lives at the school. And it's about him sort of bonding with one of the students in particular, and also connecting with the school cook, who's also there over the season. And it's a dramatic comedy. Yeah. It has some scenes that just pull at your heartstrings, and other scenes that are just really sort of darkly funny. But it's a really well done movie, and it's one of Paul Giamatti's best. I mean, he's done a lot of good things. He was in a previous Christmas movie, which I like, where he played Santa.
Yeah,
Fred Claus. Yeah, and I thought he was a good Santa. Excuse me. But I really enjoyed The Holdovers, and that's one I went out and bought on a DVD so that I could watch it every year, because you never know if these are going to show up on TV.
And there's several of the, what I would call like the Silver Age classic films, like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, are leaving HBO at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that they'll probably pay whatever it takes to get them back next Christmas, or maybe they'll be on Netflix then, because now. Yeah,
if the whole merger happens, that's a whole other topic of conversation. But yeah, there are certain ones that if I want to make sure I can watch them, because you can't trust streaming services anymore.
And you can't find.
So you got to get them on DVD.
Charlie Brown Christmas anywhere.
No, because it's on Apple Plus. So unless you have Apple Plus, it doesn't air on TV. That was something that had an annual showing each year on broadcast
Since
TV.
the 50s.
Yeah, well, 60s.
60s.
And then Apple Plus gets the rights to it, and it doesn't get a broadcast date. Yeah. So it basically screws anyone poor enough not to be able to get a streaming service, because anyone can watch broadcast TV for free still. They just have to get an antenna. And so there's going to be like a generation of kids who have never seen the Charlie Brown Christmas special, which, that to me is borderline outrageous, because that's one that everyone should see. Like, I think a lot of kids know who Charlie Brown and Snoopy are, but because of all the commercial stuff that they're on, they're everywhere. They probably have never even read the comic.
Right.
The comic strip.
I mean, because Charles Schultz passed away in the 90s? Or was it the early
last
2000s?
strip was in 2000, and he passed away, I think, shortly after the last strip.
Yeah.
So he's been dead, I think, 25 years. And they kept publishing the strip, rerunning it.
Plenty of old ones that they can just
reuse. They just rerun the strip. I mean, they don't have someone new doing it. They didn't want to do that because a lot of other strips have done that. But yeah, I mean, so all the ones to me that I want to make sure I can watch every year, I get on DVD or Blu-ray. I don't care whether I have Blu-ray or DVD. The quality is the same to my eyes.
One of my favorites that I watch every year, this is one from the 80s, but it's not as commonly found, is Muppet Christmas Together.
See, now, I don't know if I remember that. There have been a lot of Muppet Christmas
came
specials.
out in 1987, and it was the Muppets, the Jim Henson Muppets, the Fraggles, and the Sesame Street Muppets.
Now, is this
all
one where they're
together.
in like a country house?
Yes.
Okay, I vaguely do remember that one.
The guy from Fraggle Rock is
The guy that owns the dog?
yeah, the guy with the dog. He's he's Venmoing before Venmo was a thing.
Oh, really?
Not Venmo. The where you stay in someone else's house.
Oh, Airbnb.
He's Airbnb-ing Mrs. Fozzie's mom's house
Okay.
before Airbnb was a thing. She was, renting out to him for the holidays, and she's taken off to the Bahamas, but Fozzie shows up with the entire gang.
Okay, I may have to watch that one again. I was looking up lists of, like I said, people rank things and this and that, and so I was reading all these different lists. And the Muppet special that they listed as like the best of the Muppet specials, or it wasn't the best, but like one that doesn't get the attention that other, because people love the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol. And even, I think, the John Denver one gets
And the John Denver, that's the one I remember from when I was a kid, is that, because I listened to that 12 Days of Christmas every year from that. And that one you can't find.
No.
It's not on streaming, it doesn't, and that has to do with the music rights from it, from what I've heard. But I read an article where they mentioned one called The Christmas Toy.
Yes, another Jim Henson one.
Yes.
Very similar plot to Toy Story.
That's what I was going to say, is they said it's about toys that come alive when no one's around. And it's like, I remember hearing about that, but I don't think I ever watched that one.
And the tiger Muppet that they use in that one looks very, very similar to the Lionel Muppet that they used in Between the Lions.
I don't know.
But they do that all the time. The Jim Henson repurpose a Muppet and rework it and everything. But it's almost the exact same Muppet.
So I may have to look for both of those to see if they're available streaming somewhere and give those a shot, because I'm trying to watch some stuff that I haven't maybe seen before, or just have not seen in a long time, or give some new things a shot, because I'm sick of watching the same four movies on Freeform.
Like right now, it's 9 days till Christmas, and I am not quite in the mood to watch the Santa Claus yet, and that's one of my favorites. But I don't know if I want to watch that this year. I'm not.
I mean, I've watched Elf already pretty early in the season, so I don't need to watch Elf again. I've seen Home Alone and Home Alone 2 more than once already because it's on TV so much, so I don't want to watch those again. And I have watched Scrooge. I would watch Scrooge again, and the only reason I would watch Scrooge again is because I watched it on basic cable, and I hate how much they cut out, or how many jokes they cut out for basic TV. And it's not like it's a filthy movie. They're just cutting out some of the language.
It's just 80s PG.
Yeah. It's ridiculous to me, some of the things they cut out. So that I would rather watch on DVD than watch on TV. And the same with Christmas Vacation. I watched that on TV, and they cut out some of the best jokes that way. So those I'll rewatch. But did we go through all the ones we wanted to of the new ones? I thought you had one more.
And the other one was a special, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, or holiday special, which came out, was it 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3, but.
That is one that, you're right, I think that is going to be one to watch on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It focuses mainly on Drax and Mantis, but they're trying to create a perfect Christmas holiday to cheer up Peter. And of
So
course,
they
they
wind
get
up
into
kidnapping Kevin Bacon.
yes. So it keeps the tone of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It's out there. It's not your typical Christmas.
And we were saying before we went live was that one of the things that made this special work is that they basically took a period of filming Volume 3, Guardians Volume 3, and filmed this because it wasn't that long to shoot. So the entire crew, the entire production is the same people who make the Guardians movies. Yeah. It's not a B team. Like Star Wars Holiday Special was a B team.
Completely unrelated to Lucasfilm. Yeah, you're right. This has the same cast and crew. It has the same feel. It is a part of that.
Yeah,
universe.
the same writer, the same and James Gunn going through and no, this joke won't work. This joke would work.
Well, he wrote and directed it, so yeah. So it works. So as far as unappreciated movies or movies that maybe people aren't as aware of or haven't seen, I think I've mentioned this one before, but this is one that I have to watch every year, which is an animated special. I think from, if it's not the late 80s, I'm pretty sure it's the early 90s. But yeah, I think it's definitely the early 90s. But it's the only animated special they ever did with the characters from Bloom County. So Opus the Penguin? So Bloom County is a comic strip that was very popular in the 80s. And I'm pretty sure he still does a Bloom County comic strip. He had stopped at one point and then sort of did a sequel strip called Outland, and that sort of morphed back into Bloom County eventually. But, so many comic strips get animated specials or TV shows like Garfield. There were so many. Obviously, Peanuts, there were a ton of them. So someone thought, well, let's give Bloom County an animated special. But Bloom County is not a comic strip that kids read. It's aimed at adults because often it's either really absurd or abstract comedy, or it's borderline political or something, but it's mostly not geared towards kids. But this one is sort of framed as a kid's story. It actually was not a story that came directly from the strip itself, but rather from a book that the author wrote using his characters from the strip. And the book is called A Wish for Wings That Work. And the premise of the story, which is the premise of the animated special, is that the main character, Opus, is a penguin, and obviously he can't fly. So he's jealous of all the birds that can fly, so his wish for Santa is to bring him a pair of wings that work, because he wants to fly. So it's all about him trying to, it's almost like a Christmas Story type of thing, where it's this kid who wants something that he's probably not going to get, or that everyone tells him, give it up, you're not going to get that. It's the same type of story. But what I love about the animated special is that it's just so absurd and out there. And it has a cameo by Robin Williams doing one of his most unhinged performances. And you probably wouldn't know it's Robin Williams, or maybe you might recognize his voice. Pardon me. But, he goes, the main character, Opus, goes to a support group for flightless birds. And there's a rooster there. And but there's also Robin Williams playing a kiwi. And he's upset because his wife left him for an albatross. And he goes, an albatross. She left me for an albatross. And he says, have you seen the wingspan on them? How am I to compete with that? And it's peak Robin Williams, Sorry, I should have got a glass of water out here. So I love watching that every year. And of course, there's these ducks that are tormenting him because obviously they can fly and they love to torment him because he can't. And they're based on the Three Stooges. So their voices and their parents all look and sound like the Three Stooges. So I don't know that it's an animated special that kids, like some kids maybe, but they're not going to really get a lot of the jokes. And some of the jokes parents may not like there's another cameo is Dustin Hoffman, who voices a transgender cockroach.
It's fresh off Tootsie.
Actually, this was fresh off of him and Robin Williams being in Hook. They were both working on Hook, and Steven Spielberg is the producer of this special, so he roped them into doing cameos.
So he was doing the voice for Genie and this at the same time?
Possibly, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's an odd special, but I love it. I watch it every year. If you can find it, I doubt that it's streaming anywhere, honestly. You could look. It's probably on YouTube, actually. I would recommend looking on YouTube, but it's worth watching.
That reminded me of one that I haven't seen in a while, but because you said Steven Spielberg and animated, is the Animaniacs' Wacko's Wish.
Oh, I don't know if I ever saw that. I love the Animaniacs, but I don't know that I saw that.
I think I've seen it once. Like I want to hunt that one down and find that one.
That's something I should watch too. So another movie I watch every year, and I think I mentioned this last year too, because there's a lot of, you were talking about Golden Age movies, and there's certain ones that everyone watches. Obviously, Miracle on 34th Street.
The 1947
the original
one
version.
Not the TV 50s one, not the Home Alone one.
Yeah, I like the Home Alone one. But classic 40s, 50s movies, you've got It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street. Those are the ones that have become classics that people will still watch. But there are a lot of people that just won't go and watch any old black and white movies.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of good ones out there, like The Bishop's Wife. I think maybe a lot of people do still watch that, but I don't think a lot of people are as familiar with that, and I enjoy watching that every year. It stars Cary Grant as an angel who is trying to rekindle the romance between this married couple. And they actually remade that with Denzel Washington and the singer that died a few years ago. I can't think of her name, and I know her name, which is awful. But that's not the movie I want to talk about anyway. The one I want to talk about is Christmas in Connecticut, which is borderline kind of a farce, where it's a woman who writes basically kind of a Martha Stewart-esque column for a magazine, where she talks about her homemaking skills and cooking and taking care of her baby and all that. And it's a very popular feature in the magazine that she writes for. But the thing is that it's all a lie. She's not married, doesn't have a baby, and she lives in an apartment in New York City, not on a farm in Connecticut. So anyway, this war hero gets picked by the publisher of her magazine to have Christmas dinner with her as sort of as a favor to a nurse who nursed the war hero back to health, and also had previously nursed the publisher's granddaughter to health when she was sick. And he, of course, believes that the articles are real. He doesn't know that she's been basically tricking him. So she has to it's sort of like a Three's Company type of scenario, where she's suddenly got to find a farm and a husband and a baby to put on this whole act to save her job so that she doesn't get fired. And she manages to find all of that and is putting on this whole show of a Christmas dinner with the help of a friend of hers who is a cook and has been providing her with all the recipes she's been writing about. But what happens is when she meets the soldier, she falls for the soldier, and he actually falls for her, even though she's supposedly married. So it's kind of this wacky romantic comedy thing. And people love the Hallmark movies. This is 10 times better than any of those Hallmark movies that you'll watch. So I highly recommend.
And it doesn't star Candace Cameron.
No, it doesn't. And they do show it yearly on Turner Classic Movies. So if you have that, that's a way to see it. But that's also available on DVD as well, because I bought it last year or the year before. Speaking of the Hallmark movies, Family Guy did a holiday special this year spoofing Hallmark movies. So I watch it. I don't regularly watch the newer episodes of Family Guy. I might watch the occasional reruns. But I decided to watch that because that's something that's ripe for parody. And so I thought it would be pretty good, because when they've done like their full out parody episodes before, like the Star Wars ones, they do a fairly good job. And I was kind of disappointed because it's such a ripe target that they missed the mark so much. Family Guy can either be like really clever, or it can just be like broad and low
Bottom
class.
of the barrel.
And, yes. And unfortunately, it went in that direction for most of it. And I don't know why. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of these Hallmark movies, because after watching a couple when they first originally were coming out, you get the idea of what the cookie cutter format is, and you don't need to watch any more of them. But they were like harping on them being like for red states, like conservatives and stuff like that, and taking like a lot of shots at conservatives, which in a normal episode of Family Guy, I don't care. That's Family Guy. But it's like when the target is supposed to be Hallmark movies, all these shots at conservatives just seems like they should be making fun of the Hallmark movies. It's like I never get the sense watching a Hallmark movie that this is intended for red state audiences and not blue state. I think it's intended for like women.
Yeah.
That's the audience, And I don't think it's necessarily just conservative women. It's women in general.
Yes.
Are watching these movies. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching. We had a good time. We could probably talk a while about all sorts of Christmas movies. So we'll see you in 2 weeks, but have a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Good night. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in that special. Oh, we didn't talk about the Jonas Brothers Christmas movie. I don't know if our mics are still on, but I did watch that, which is definitely not my normal cup of tea, but it was mildly funny. And I did honestly laugh out loud a few times watching it. It's got a lot of cameos in it. Will Ferrell, and I'm not spoiling that cameo because that's in the very first scene of the movie. But it's got some odd cameos from comedic actors that I think the audience of the Jonas Brothers will not even know who they are. But I knew.
Yeah.
Like someone who was on SCTV 40 years ago, who is not one of the SCTV alumni who's become a major star.